Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever been so utterly betrayed that it makes you question everything? Today's story is about exactly that, but with a twist of sweet professional justice. Imagine working tirelessly on an idea, a patent, a literal multi-million-dollar asset, only to have your entitled boss steal it, fire you, and then laugh in your face, calling your life's work garbage. That was my reality for years. But time, as they say, is a flat circle, and karma has a truly wicked sense of humor. Because years later, that same man, the one who tried to ruin my career, came crawling back to me, tears streaming, begging me to save his entire company from collapse. You have to hear how I responded. Get ready, because this is the tale of Mark, the thief, and the inevitable price of arrogance. My entitled boss stole my million-dollar patent, fired me, and called my work garbage. Years later, he called me in tears begging for help to save his company from bankruptcy. I simply said, "I'm afraid I don't work here anymore." My name is Jake, and the moment my boss, Mark, looked me in the eye and called the work I had dedicated 3 years of my life to absolute garbage, I knew two things: first, that he was a sociopathic liar, and second, that he was planning to steal it. I just didn't realize how effective he would be at destroying my career in the process. Let me give you some background. I'm a systems architect. I built complex, high-speed trading algorithms and data management systems. About 7 years ago, I started working on what I called the black box. It was a proprietary system designed to model consumer trends with an accuracy that was unheard of in our sector. It was revolutionary. I worked on it relentlessly, often clocking 80-hour weeks, fueled by cheap coffee and the promise of a significant equity stake once the patent was secured and the system went live. Mark, my boss, was the CEO of our small, burgeoning tech firm. He was smooth, charming, and utterly obsessed with image. He drove a vintage Porsche, wore suits that cost more than my annual rent, and treated every success like it was solely due to his brilliant leadership, even when he couldn't operate the coffee machine. The closer the black box got to completion, the more protective Mark became. He started asking me for constant updates, demanding access to the source code, and insisting on taking all client meetings related to the project. Initially, I brushed it off. Standard CEO behavior, right? But then the red flags started piling up like dirty laundry. First, he canceled the meeting I had scheduled with the company patent lawyer, saying he would handle the filing himself to speed up the process. Then, he started isolating me. He pulled me off all other projects, claiming the black box needed my singular focus, but in reality, he was cutting me off from my team. My colleagues started acting weird, avoiding eye contact. I knew something was wrong when my access credentials were changed without warning, requiring Mark's explicit approval for every major system commit. The end came swiftly. I walked into work one Monday morning, feeling excited because I had just finalized a critical stability patch for the system, the kind of patch that would make the black box literally run forever. But when I swiped my key card, the lock turned red, and a message flashed, "Access denied." I stood there for a second, confused, until Mark's executive assistant, Sarah, rushed over, looking utterly horrified. Sarah had always been kind to me, and the pity in her eyes told me everything I needed to know. She pulled me aside, her voice a frantic whisper. "Jake, you need to go. Mark is filing the patent today. It's in his name." My blood ran cold. I managed to ask, "What about my contract? My equity?" She shook her head, tears welling up. "He fired you Friday afternoon, effective immediately. He told security not to let you back in. They're boxing up your personal items now. He said your work was disorganized and flawed and that he spent the weekend fixing all your amateur mistakes himself." I felt physically sick. All that work, all those sleepless nights, stolen in an instant. I went straight to Mark's office, ignoring the security guard trying to intercept me. Mark was sitting there, calm as you please, signing papers. "Mark, what the hell is this?" I demanded, pointing at the locked office door. He didn't even look up. "Ah, Jake. So sorry about the technical difficulties. Yes, your employment has been terminated. Effective immediately. Severance packages being mailed to your home address." The black box is my intellectual property. We had an agreement about the patent. I stammered, feeling the panic rising in my chest. He finally looked up, flashing that shark smile. Oh, the black box. Cute name. We're calling it the Sentinel architecture now. And no, Jake. Your contract clearly states that all work created during employment belongs to the firm. Furthermore, he paused, leaning back in his expensive chair, I reviewed your code over the weekend. Honestly, it was a mess. Utter garbage. I had to personally rewrite the core architecture to make it marketable. You'll note my name is the only one on the patent application. That was the moment the anger took over. I wanted to smash his face in, but I kept my hands clenched tight in my pockets. You're going to regret this, Mark. He laughed, a cold, genuine laugh of pure disdain. Regret what? Getting rid of a liability? Please, Jake. Go home. Enjoy the severance. You're simply not on my level. I turned, walked out of that building for the last time, and headed straight to my lawyer. Unfortunately, Mark had played dirty. The contract was airtight, giving the company ownership of everything created under its roof. The only thing I had left was the knowledge of the black box's deepest secrets. Mark's company, renamed Sentinel Systems, soared. Built entirely on my stolen work. Every trade publication, every conference, featured Mark, praising his genius, his vision, and his Sentinel architecture. It was agonizing to watch. I lost job offers. When potential employers asked why I left Sentinel, I had to choose between lying or telling the truth and sounding like a bitter, jealous former employee. Mark had effectively poisoned the well. I spent the next 3 years working freelance, trying to rebuild my reputation in a completely different sector, clean energy tech, just to get out from under his shadow. I succeeded, slowly, quietly, meticulously. I learned from my mistakes, set up my own independent firm with ironclad legal protection, and secured funding. I was finally making good money again, but the wound of Mark's betrayal never fully healed. Now, about that little stability patch I mentioned, the one I finalized the day I was fired? I never actually installed it. When I designed the black box, I built in a failsafe. Not a malicious one, but a necessary one. The core algorithm was designed to accumulate minor data corruptions over time, like digital entropy. It was a known issue in the kind of predictive modeling I was doing. To counter it, the system needed a highly specialized, proprietary maintenance key and patch every 5 years to completely scrub and rebuild the data tables without losing the predictive functionality. If you missed that window, the entire architecture wouldn't just slow down, it would suffer catastrophic data failure, collapsing in on itself. I had designed the maintenance key system, but because Mark fired me right before implementation, he never got the final, critical piece of code. He thought he had the complete system, but he only had a self-destructing time bomb set for approximately 4.5 years after launch. Mark, the image-obsessed CEO, probably never even bothered looking at the lower-level system maintenance documentation. He had simply installed the black box, renamed it, and started raking in millions, assuming the elegant system would run forever. The 4-year mark passed 6 months ago. That's when I noticed Sentinel's stock price starting to flatline. 3 months ago, it started dipping steadily. Then, 2 weeks ago, the plunge began. News articles started appearing, Sentinel architecture experiencing unprecedented instability. CEO Mark denies system failure. Major clients fleeing Sentinel systems. I followed the news with cold, clinical satisfaction. I knew exactly what was happening. The data corruption had hit critical mass. Then, yesterday, the phone rang. It was an unknown number, but something told me to answer it. Hello? Jake? Oh God, Jake, thank God you answered. It was Mark. His voice was completely unrecognizable, not the smooth, confident baritone of the past, but thin, ragged, and wet with tears. Mark? I kept my tone neutral, professional. Yes. Yes, it's me. Jake, you have to help me. I'm begging you. The Sentinel architecture, it's collapsing. We're losing billions. Our entire client base is gone. The board is meeting tomorrow to force me out, and I'll be ruined. You have to fix it, Jake. You're the only one who can. I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the sound of his sheer panic. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I haven't worked at Sentinel in years. Don't be like that, he sobbed. I know I messed up. I was young and stupid and greedy. I admitted it. But I need you. I need you to fly out here tonight. I'll pay you anything. 10 million, 20 million, name your price. I'll make you vice president of engineering. I'll put your name on the patent. Just save the system. You'll put my name on the patent? I repeated, almost amused. The one you told everyone you personally rewrote because my work was garbage? I was lying, he wailed. It was brilliant, Jake. Pure genius. I needed the credit. Please, I'm losing everything. The black box, the Sentinel architecture, it's seizing up. It's corrupting data faster than we can isolate it. We tried everything. We tried outsourcing, we hired the best consultants, but no one understands the root architecture like you do. I could picture him exactly, sitting in his expensive, glass-walled office, his expensive suit rumpled, his perfect hair disheveled, watching his empire crumble in real time. Mark, I said, my voice dropping into a low, quiet intensity that felt colder than any anger I had ever felt, I need you to listen to me very carefully. He quieted immediately, hanging on my every word. That garbage you stole? It wasn't garbage. It was brilliant, as you just admitted. And every piece of brilliant engineering has a maintenance schedule. Did you ever wonder why the system was performing perfectly for 4.5 years straight, Mark? It was built to last exactly that long without the final maintenance key. It was a failsafe, a necessity in data modeling. A shaky breath came across the line. The maintenance key? We don't have a maintenance key. No, I confirmed. You don't. Because you fired the only person who knew how to build it, 3 years and 6 months ago. You threw me out, called me names, and stole my intellectual property. You didn't just steal the system, Mark. You stole a time bomb. He was crying openly now, ragged gasps filling the speaker. Please. I'll give you the whole company. I'll sign everything over. Just give me the key. I paused, letting the silence stretch for a delicious, agonizing few moments. You know, Mark, I finally said, when you fired me, you told me I wasn't on your level. You said I was a liability. You threw away my future for your ego. I was wrong. Please, I'm begging you on my hands and knees. My children will lose their home. I stood up, walked over to my office window, and looked out over the city where I had quietly rebuilt my career, where I was now the respected founder of a thriving, honest business. It's funny, isn't it? I said, my voice laced with finality. That thing you stole from me? That's my intellectual child. You didn't just steal it, Mark, you kidnapped it and neglected it. And now it's terminally ill. And you're calling me, the real father, begging me to save the life of the child you treated like property. I let him cry for a minute longer before delivering the final, crushing blow. I'm afraid, I said, calm and definitive, I don't work there anymore. And I have no intention of saving the empire you built on a lie. Enjoy the board meeting, Mark. I hung up, blocked his number, and muted my phone. I never heard from Mark again, but the news was swift. Sentinel Systems filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy the following week. Mark was fired, stripped of his golden parachute, and is now facing several shareholder lawsuits for gross mismanagement and deceptive practices. His wife filed for divorce 2 months later. As for me? I'm doing great. My current company is thriving, built on real innovation and, more importantly, integrity. The black box? I built a better version, of course. And this time, I made sure all the paperwork was bulletproof. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't getting even, it's simply walking away and watching the house of cards you knew was flimsy finally collapse without your support. Wow! What a truly incredible story. Jake not only survived Mark's betrayal but thrived, setting himself up for the perfect moment to deliver that final, stunning blow. It really goes to show that some people dig their own graves using the shovel they stole from someone else. So, I want to hear your thoughts. Was Jake justified in letting the company completely collapse? Or would you have taken the money, fixed the system, and then walked away? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale of professional justice, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. See you in the next one.